But first, we want to very proudly update a story we first brought you 3 years ago about a special group of people in Georgia. It was there that some parents started a baseball league for kids with physical limitations. They called it the Miracle League. And as it turns out, the name proved to be incredibly prescient. For as Frank McCord reports, what has happened since our story first aired has far exceeded everyone's expectations.
It's June 11th, and Atlanta teenager Lauren Gunder is packing to go to Moody, Alabama, to play baseball on one of the newest fields in the ever-expanding Miracle League.
Have you been amazed at how big the Miracle League has become?
Yeah, I don't even know how many fields there are anymore. I lost track.
But it's been something that you never could have expected, isn't it?
No way, no way. I don't think anybody could have. It was just an idea that somebody came up with one day. Hey, what if we got a bunch of disabled kids and let them do something that nobody thought they could ever do?
When we first met Lauren 3 years ago, in many ways she was just like most kids from Atlanta. She liked the Backstreet Boys, Harry Potter, and of course, the Braves.
Let's go, boys.
But unlike most 11-year-olds, Lauren was born with brittle bone disease, a rare and often fatal genetic disorder that makes her bones very susceptible to breaking. It has also left her legally blind. And as her mother Jennifer witnessed, because of her condition, Lauren was unable to do what most kids take for granted, play on a baseball team.
We've had to say no so many times over the years for a child who wants to do all the normal things. She would bring home the flyers from school where the kids were all signing up for the latest soccer league or the baseball teams or basketball.
Instead, Lauren was limited to playing backyard baseball with her dad and her best friend, Amanda.
Is your father any good?
Do you really want me to answer that?
Yeah, I want you to answer that.
From a standpoint, yes.
How about Amanda? How good is she?
She's good.
I'm glad to hear somebody on this team is good. How are you?
I'm good.
You're good.
I'm good.
The children were of all ages and disabilities, and the parents who brought them to the park that day in 1998 for an informal baseball game called their group the Miracle League. 2000, the 35 original Miracle Leaguers having expanded to 120 players, and at that point, the field was the only one of its kind.
Woo! Give me 5, son! Look at that, woo!
What does the Miracle League mean to you, Lauren?
Well, first of all, it means that I get to live my dream of playing baseball like my friends. And second, it means I get to make new friends and meet new people. Third, it means I just get to have fun.
This is Tuesday.
Yes, sir.
You play Saturdays, right?
I have a game on Friday.
Friday. So when do you start thinking about that?
I think about it all week.
It's great for her self-esteem to be part of something, to feel like a normal kid, that she can go to school and talk about her game when the other kids are talking about their games. You know, she's just part of the gang.
And it's not just the kids who get something out of the league. For the parents, many of whom have to work full-time just taking care of their kids, it's a joy as well. For Lindsay and for many of the kids in the league, it's a miracle that they're able to play baseball. But for Russ Slade's son Nicholas, who was born without eyes, it's a miracle that he's even alive.
My son had a massive seizure, and it put him into a state of a coma, and we thought that his life was nearly ended. But we kept talking to him about playing baseball and being with all his friends, and a miracle happened, I guess. He just came out of his coma, and a week later we was out playing baseball.
A week after he almost died, he was in the Miracle League.
Right. We were there for the opening ceremonies of the Miracle League, and Nicholas got to throw out the first baseball. That was the most exciting thing I ever saw. It just brought tears to my eyes just seeing him out there, because knowing that I almost lost him.
All right, right, Nick! Give me the bat, brother, go.
For a child with a serious medical condition, the worst thing about being sick is being sick. But the second worst thing is being different. Buddies who help these handicapped kids get to first base don't necessarily just stop there. They might take them all the way home with them and find out that their new friends are not so different after all. After all, young people with disabilities are not just patients. They're also, in all ways, children. And just like Nicholas Slade, they need fun and games, too.
Hey, Nicholas, can you come over and sing Take Me Out of the Ball Game? Could you do that?
To the ball game. Take.
Oh, I don't care if I ever get back, so it's root for the whole team. If they don't win, it's a shame.
Forest 1, 2. Oh, ball.
Since we first aired this story back in July of 2001, the tiny little Miracle League has enjoyed, well, miraculous growth. What was then just one league here in Conyers, Georgia, with only 120 kids, has turned into a national organization with more than 70 leagues and 10,000 disabled participants. And the synthetic turf field, back then it was one of a kind. Since then, 14 more have been built and another 60 are under construction all across the country. Our story on HBO aired on July 16th, 2001. What happened then?
Oh, Frank, the next morning at 8:00 a.m., my phone began to ring. And from July the 17th to Christmas Eve that year, we had over 1,400 phone calls, people wanting to know, how do you do it? You know, where do we begin?
Diane Alford is the executive director of the Miracle League Association. What ultimately is your goal? Can the Miracle League be anywhere?
Absolutely. With 5.2 million children in this country with disabilities, every city needs to have a Miracle League field, and our goal is to see that every city does.
Cities just like Moody, Alabama, where we went with Lauren Gunder to see what the competition's like in other states. What we found is that, like every Miracle League franchise, Moody has its share of incredible stories. Take Daniel Ray, a 17-year-old who suffers from cerebral palsy. When the Alabama League first opened, Daniel showed up thinking that he was only going to sing the national anthem. Of the brave. But then,
when they presented me my uniform, they said, "Okay, you're a player now." I said, "I get to sing and play baseball? All right."
And once a year, for the final game of the season, Daniel works up his strength, gets out of his chair, and runs the bases.
It's just so much of an adrenaline rush. It feels like you're a major league player, it really does. It feels like you just hit the final home run in the World Series.
That was great.
Woo!
Yes!
As for the kids we met 3 years ago, they're all still playing in the league. Nicholas Slade, who almost died 4 years ago, just turned 9.
There you go, what a hit!
And is doing so well that last year he won a gold medal in the Special Olympics. And of all things, horseback riding.
Looking good, Nick, looking good.
The first family of the league, the Garners, are still running the Conyers branch. And remember their daughter Lindsay with muscular dystrophy? She just made the honor roll of her 10th grade class. And the unofficial spokesperson for the league? Well, she's getting ready to start high school this fall. And despite the fact that she broke her femur 2 years ago and is now confined to her wheelchair, she continues to play baseball.
Save!
Do you still get a kick out of playing in the Miracle League?
Yeah. The season's over right now, but fall can't come soon enough.
How long do you figure on playing in the Miracle League?
As long as possible.
Forever?
Yeah, forever. Till they say, "Go away, you can't come anymore." I will play.
Frank, we're going to talk Miracle League in a second, but Lauren Gunder is very special to you, isn't she?
She is a dear, wonderful, feisty little girl, and I love being with her.
I saw that White Sox owner Jerry Reinsdorf is funding a Miracle League stadium in Chicago. In the main, where's the money coming from for these 60-plus parks that are being built now?
It comes from the community. It's like the community chest or raising money for a charity. It's passing the hat. It's getting businessmen and just citizens
No corporations
to donate
have stepped
money.
forward? No leagues have stepped forward? No.
They think they have got a national sponsor. and they wouldn't tell us who, but they think they're this close to getting a national sponsor.
A lot of great numbers in that piece, but disturbing one was 5.2 million kids with disabilities. That number shock you as it did me?
I don't know how you define disabilities, but it is a huge number. I mean, that's the size of Chicago. I mean, if you look at it in those terms, that is frightening. And it just shows you how many people need help and how this league, in its own little way, provides the most wonderful encouragement and help in the world.
I don't normally do this. The Miracle League is about the kids, but one quick note, its growth must give you enormous personal satisfaction.
Oh, this is the time where I'm the messenger bringing the good news. And usually you defend yourself in the media and you say, oh, I'm only the messenger. This time I say, hello, I'm the messenger, I'm proud of it, and I just happen to be the right guy in the right place, but it makes me feel very, very wonderful.
Nice going. Congratulations.